Hello, listeners. This is Lee Price,
This is Will Ford from Football 365.
and you're listening smartly to At the Bridge Pod, a Chelsea FC podcast, although I would describe it as the Chelsea FC podcast.
Magical from Eden Hazard. Kai Havertz in the Champions League final. Ivanovic! In the middle, it's just behind him. But it's tapped in by Hakim Ziyech. Matic with the ball driver. Matic takes the net off. Hat-trick hero. Cole Palmer wins an epic, sensational game.
It's time for another episode of At the Bridge Pod, your number one Chelsea FC podcast. Coming up on this episode, we are Champions League. Say we are Champions League. We are Champions League. Say we are Champions League.
Oh, welcome back, everyone, to another episode of At the Bridge Pod, and I am joined in a virtual room filled with Chris. Still Chris. Ollie's still on his annual leave somewhere around the globe. I didn't approve it, so he might be getting a disciplinary procedure come to his way when he comes back. We'll see on Friday. We'll see on Friday's show. Chris, moments of the weekend. Come on, there was loads.
No, there weren't.
Oh,
You know what? I tidied and reorganised my own bedroom this weekend,
wow. Okay.
which is has took probably about 2 years. It's been on the list of things to do, and I
Bloody
finally
hell.
got to do it after doing it. You know, the kids' bedrooms and lounge and kitchen and all sorts. So
Yeah.
finally got round to it. I've got some time. Finally got a weekend
Okay.
off. Let's crack on. So I did that.
Did you celebrate when you did it?
Oh, yeah, massively, mate. I took some selfies. I was running up and down the garden, clapping.
Oh, hang on. VAR. Your wife VAR'd and went, nope, you haven't finished that bit. Come on, back in. Finish that. Then you can go and celebrate. Oh, right. For me, I didn't actually. I wrote this up and I haven't put a moment because it was a wild weekend of. I mean, you were telling me it was the year of the underdog. I mean, how many underdog performances? Stuttgart obviously let the team down. They decided not to be part of the underdog story. Ream losing to PSG, they didn't want to be part of the underdog story. However, there was some really good. Oh, and Sporting Lisbon beating Benfica. If you can, I don't think that's an underdog, really. Was
No, it's
Sunderland
not.
an underdog beating Sheffield United? I guess on
I
points.
think
it would.
I think there was.
Yeah, I suppose you would have to say that, wouldn't you? Napoli were never favourites. It overall, I think for good stories, it was amazing. It was amazing. I can't really. It was just, yeah. It was one of those. There's loads of good stuff. Aberdeen. That was what I was thinking of then. Bloody Aberdeen. Fair play beating Celtic. Celtic are just
Yeah.
expected to just win. How boring. Just win. Anyway, before we dive into the news, Shevva shoutouts. And Chris, you've got a shout out. But before you get excited, KP.
Not a good one.
It might be. KP. Hey, Chris. How about that, yeah? Maresca literally made you shoot your own words after you've been chatting shit about him all season. Another clean sheet, by the way. Third best defense with Sanchez as number one.
Okay.
I mean, that's the best you're going to get from him today.
I mean, we will get more into it later, but okay.
Okay.
He got Champions League. Well done.
He did.
Did anyone enjoy watching that game yesterday?
I enjoyed the end, which we'll get on to.
Yeah, the final whistle when it was
Yeah.
over. Everyone enjoyed the final whistle when it was over because honestly, not then this isn't just us because I thought Forest was also absolutely horrendous. But we are one of the worst teams to watch in the league.
Okay. Azza. Keep Trevor. Yeah, I think that we should. Whether we will, who knows? Pure profit and all that. We never know. You never know. 4-bit. I think this was something aimed at you again, Chris. I'm sorry. Can't agree with the Reece James comment on him not improving on loan. Was he not Young Player of the Year, all the awards for Wigan when he played? I'm sure there's a point made for Mount as he was arguably playing a similar system to at Chelsea under Lampard, but you don't become arguably the best right back in the world without that improvement on loan.
Yeah, but you can't categorically say if he'd stayed at Chelsea and played in the youth team, he wouldn't have done the same thing.
True. I mean, he was also sent. That was when he was in that hybrid CDM role, wasn't it? And he was like,
Yeah, and we've seen him in CDM now, and he's crap at it.
yeah, I don't know what happened there. Maybe it's the quality of the league. Jamali
Yeah.
Smith, I just want Victor Osimhen, no one else. But I think that's one to wait and see because what do we always say? We hear a load of the bullshit. What was it over the weekend? We were interested in João Pedro on Friday when we left you listeners. And then Saturday morning, we weren't interested in João Pedro and we've not held talks whatsoever. So that kind of, you look at that bullshit and I look at the Osimhen bullshit about, oh, he wants to go to Saudi for the money. I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced he wants to go to Saudi and I'm not convinced he wants to sign for Chelsea. I think we just let the window play out. Because we have to. Look, Fabrizio Romano tweets literally the season hasn't even finished, and he's tweeting transfer rumors. I'm like, mate, I don't care yet. You calm down. I'm not interested. Let me enjoy this. I don't care who's signing for 40 million in, I don't know, AC Milan. I don't care. But I do care. L House 75, last one. You cannot tell me that these lot are not playing Football Manager to determine their strategy. Yeah, some of those wonder kids are very, very good on Football Manager. They are. Can't deny it. Well, I suppose we do get to hit the news. One big story. Fabrizio Romano tweeted it, so I have to sort of give him credit now. Damn it. Chelsea will advance in talks to extend Moises Caicedo's contract in the next few months. Plan has been since March is to open negotiations over a new deal for the midfielder, and it will happen in the upcoming months as Chelsea see Caicedo as a world-class midfielder. And now, first of all, I love how he's reusing words in that tweet to get over the character limit for getting the money in on the click engagement, because in the next few months and in the upcoming months, I mean, when I saw that, I thought, you know what? He has had an insanely top-class season. However, Chris, I'm actually confused, like you were the other week when you were confused about something that you heard in the media. I'm confused as to why we're doing this deal, because Danny Murphy has recently said he was surprised that we're doing extending his contract because he's been average this season. And I thought, oh, I don't know if he was on about his own performances or Caicedo. Surely he can't be on about Caicedo. He's carried the team on the back. He's probably getting that award from us in a week or so. I mean, he's been amazing.
He is the most underrated player in the league, because I think of all of the teams of the season I've seen, I think he's been in one.
I haven't seen
and then
one.
I seen the other day they did BBC pundits, who would your top three players of the season be if you couldn't include Mo Salah?
Okay.
He was in one, and that was in third place. But Declan Rice was in like 8. You can't tell me Caicedo's had a worse season than Declan Rice.
No.
He just hasn't. Everyone talking like Gravenberch winning Young Player of the Year. I mean, he's about 27, so I don't know what the cut-off point is there anymore with that Young Player of the Year. Absolutely fucking ridiculous. But again, everyone's saying Gravenberch had a great season. He was good up until Christmas, and then he was bang average in the second half of the season. Caicedo's been good all year, and I just don't understand what he has to do to get people to rate him. It's because now everyone is obsessed with stats, and he hasn't got many goals and assists. Not really his job. It's not his job.
That is true.
I am convinced that N'Golo Kante wouldn't be rated now because he didn't get goals and assists, and everyone would go, oh, what's he do though?
Yeah. Oh, I'd worry about that. I've seen
because he's stupid.
It is because that's Caicedo. Caicedo is not going to get 30 goals a season. That's not his job. I see it like you're going to see it forever. You're going to see it forever. The Declan Rice Caicedo comparison. You're going to see it forever. And the thing is, we said on it the previous show, they're different players. They play different roles. Maybe
Exactly.
Declan Rice, he used to be a defensive, even more defensive player. That's not his job now. He doesn't do that. So Caicedo is not going to bang in free kicks from 30 yards. He might do. I don't know. He might practice over the summer. And he might do it. but that's not his job. I
No.
mean, I think with Caicedo, he has officially joined elite company now. I mean, he started for the record, started all 38 Premier League games this season. He's the first Chelsea player to do that since Cesar Azpilicueta in 2018-19. That is
Wow.
the true Iron Man in the heart of our midfield. And for me, I think what makes it even more impressive is that he slowly but surely proved himself to be one of the very few 100 million euro plus signings who have actually delivered value for money, because that's an exclusive club. There's maybe, you could argue, 5 members who truly justified, they brought something to the team that elevated the team beyond belief, and Caicedo's seat at the table feels well earned because he's relentless. He's always there, proven, 38 games started. He's always consistent, and he's a key pillar of this Chelsea side. And he's even been playing out of position in that right back hybrid role, but he's still been playing at a decent, even when when he's not been on his top form, he's still been putting in a 7 out of 10. And that is hard to get.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, I did see as well, one really small bit of news. I don't think it's an injury. Millie Bright has withdrawn from the Lionesses squad. Now, I don't know if that's for the Euros or just for the friendlies. I don't know.
Yeah, I saw the headline and didn't get a chance to read the story either. It
just says that she's undertaking an extended period of recovery. Is that fatigue? I don't know. There's not much to it from this headline.
I reckon that'll be just for the friendlies. I'd have thought. I reckon they've probably realised that she played a hell of a lot of games this season.
I do notice I've just called the UEFA Nations League friendlies, but then again, I'm not the biggest fan of that. I'm just like,
they are glorified friendlies.
It's the fact. The fact is, the women's team have got Nations League games before a major European tournament.
It's so stupid.
Really? Imagine having. I'm trying to think. Imagine the Nations League. Like we might have. I can't remember last years before the Euros. I think it was just friendlies. But imagine if they had UEFA Nations League games for Euros. You'd be like, I don't want to play in that. I don't want to get injured.
Exactly. So stupid.
That's very, very UEFA. Very UEFA. Well, I get to go for the final time this season. Winners and losers for the Premier League. Because we ended our 2024-25 season in Nottingham. Let's find out what happened. Chelsea slammed the door on Nottingham Forest's Champions League dreams and slipped into 4th gear themselves, qualifying for Europe's elite competition. The script simple: win and you're in. Chelsea rolled into the City ground with the vibe of a team that stumbled, sprinted and somehow sidestepped into the top 4. Forest, they needed a win, a miracle and probably a cheat code. The first half, tighter than a phone cord in 2005. Pedro Neto and Chris Wood traded chances like bad jokes at a family barbecue. Close, awkward, nowhere near landing. But just 5 minutes into the second half, Levi Colwill, a man with Forest playoff trauma in his bloodstream, showed up like a ghost from their past. After a misjudged header from Nico Williams, Neto slid it across and Colwill tapped in, sealing his vengeance arc like it was scripted by HBO. Forest puffed, crossed and prayed. Chris Wood skied one into orbit. Chelsea's backline was granite, and by full time, Forest's Conference League consolation prize was the only thing left standing. Meanwhile, Chelsea, somehow, some way, have booked a seat back at Europe's top table. Enzo Maresca's debut season ends with a top 4 finish and a trip to Poland for the Conference League final. What started like a shaky B movie is closing in like an Oscar run. Oh, and Levi? Revenge. Served cold. Oh, Nottingham Forest 0. Chelsea 1. Gary Neville, how did you take it?
Oh, Tim!
Oh, yes. And I cannot blame him after he got banned. He was celebrating. I don't know if that was from the Villa Liverpool, but who cares? He really was doing that. We are Champions League. Chris, we're champions. We did it. Who have you got? How many have you got?
I've got 3 and 3.
I've got 4 and 2. I've got my 6. And
wow.
I know. I've got to go straight I've got to go straight for I've got two players in my actual winners. So there's my general winner though is Chelsea's 2024-25 Premier League season. Because to me, this season was basically the Fast and Furious franchise, but it's the football version. Because we started off strong, like the first movie. You know, it was quite slick, it was exciting, it was full of promise, it was fresh. And then as the months went on, things got a little bit weird. They got a bit messy. Like Dom Toretto, you know, when he launches that car into space levels. That was weird.
And then by the end, you're just waiting for it to be over.
Yeah, I love this franchise. Look, there were like every good franchise. There were plot twists we didn't see come in. Some we did. Performances that made us question reality, like when we went to space. There was familiar faces making a comeback. We had Trevor Chalobah. He came back. We thought he was long gone. And then at times we weren't really sure who the main character in this team was. But you know what? Just like that Fast and Furious franchise, there was chaos, but despite it all, we finished the mission. Champions League qualification is secured. That's the objective hit. The job's done. We've bagged a massive payday along the way. We might even get a Jordan-inspired shirt, which would be amazing. I was buzzing. I genuinely was so happy we did it because, yeah, of course I doubted. I put us in 7th at the start of the bloody season. The fact that we did it, man, even if other teams hadn't, fucked up, Villa fucked up, Newcastle fucked up, wouldn't have mattered because we did our job. And for that, it's been a successful season because we've achieved the goal. I don't know if we feel the same though.
Well, we have achieved the goal. I just don't think the goal is great. My issue with it is it a massive achievement to finish 4th? People are talking like it's an unbelievable achievement, like Ipswich have done it. We've spent £1 billion. We should be finishing in the top 4. It should just be a given. There was a time when finishing 4th at Chelsea was seen as a failure. And now we're celebrating it like we've won the Champions League. I think that's the issue.
Right.
I understand where this squad is now, and I understand where the club is now. But I have a real problem with starting to massively over-celebrate finishing 4th. Not 2nd, 4th.
See, I think for me, I look at the previous seasons, we haven't been 4th. Oh, sorry, I burped. But look, we haven't been 4th. We haven't been 4th since 21-22 because we were 3rd. But the point being is, we were then 12th, we were then 6th, and now we're 4th. 2 years ago when we finished, awfully where we did, I would have snapped your hand off for 5th.
Yeah.
And
do you know what though? I think because we were so bad, especially the year we finished 12th, and then for a large part of last season, because we were so bad and those seasons felt so long, I think that's why people are acting like we've been out of the Champions League for 10 years. We've been out of it for 2 years, including this year. This season included is only the 2nd season where we haven't had Champions League football. But people were celebrating like we haven't been in it since we won it in 2012. It's like, fucking hell, calm down. Like, it's been 2 years. We haven't been out of Europe for 10 years. It's been 2 years.
I think
Let's just calm down.
I think also we have to be, I hate talking about the finances, but it's a fact. We need that money for the PSR bullshit. You have to. Look at Villa. Villa are scared at the moment because they haven't got Champions League.
And you know what? I get that 100%. But I don't think fans should be celebrating the club making loads of money.
Yeah, but I think that they're celebrating because if we don't make, let's just say we finished fifth. Let's say we finished outside the top Champions League spot, so 5. We're then on that precipice of PSR sanctions, and then we get a point deduction, and then it goes. And I get why we'd celebrate it because yes, I get it. We don't see the money, and season tickets are going up, and the shirt sales they might be going up, but the shirts is costing more than ever. However, we want to see the team do well on the pitch. We want to see us in the Champions League. I think being 2 years out, I think you miss that. because I've watched, Villa play in the Champions League. I've watched Arsenal, Liverpool, and I'm like, I want that. I want to be watching Chelsea play in the Champions League again. That anthem. And
I'll remind you of that next season
well,
when we've signed Liam Delap and we're going to play Real Madrid at the Bernabeu with Enzo Maresca in charge.
well, we'll see. We'll see. Chris, who was your first winner?
Colwell.
Yeah, I've got him on
Uh,
mine, and I believe Ollie has as well. He sent me his winners and losers.
Yeah, I thought he had a good game and then obviously scored the most important goal of the season.
Yeah.
I think he's
Yeah.
been good for a few weeks, to be fair to him. I think his form's really picked up.
Mm.
Wasn't such a massive fan of his interview after, to be honest, but in terms of in the game, I thought he was good and then popped up when we needed someone to, because if ever a game looked like 0-0, it was this one.
Yeah, for me, I mean, Ollie said that he was in the right place at the right time for the goal. Imperious in defence. Very impressed with the leadership he showed this season after some really difficult moments for him and mistakes. He's come out the other side better for it. And that's almost word for word what I've been saying. Take a bow, not just for scoring the winner. That was fair play, but for stepping up. You've stepped up when it mattered most. And I'd say he's been key over the last 10 games because he has been. Earlier in the season, plenty of us had concerns. He had lapses in concentration. We were questioning his maturity. And some of that criticism was fair. But the way he's responded, that's what a top player does. He's locked in. You could see that. He's locked in. He's composed. He's commanding. He's looking every bit the centre back we've been hoping for, that we keep talking that he can be. He's slowly getting there. He's gone from questionable to quintessential. He has been a different custard this season. He's not, you've got supermarket own brand, and now he's become the posh stuff made with the double cream and the yolks of the golden eggs. It's rich, it's smooth, reliable. And I'm just loving what he's become. And I now believe fully that next season we build that back line with him in it. That's pretty, we've got Cucurella, we're going to have Colwell, who knows what we've got on, no partner in, maybe Tosin, who knows. But the point is, he has really had a good arc this season, especially from how it started.
Yeah, it seems to be happening with a few of our players, doesn't it, really?
Mad. It's good. I can't complain. Caicedo, Cucurella, Colwell. Hopefully some more players. Enzo's been really good as well this season.
Exactly.
So, yeah. I'll go with second winner from Mr. Oliver. Tosin was like a skilled carpenter because he handled wood excellently. Won everything in the air, few wayward passes, but didn't let it affect him. Maresca made the right call, starting him over Chalobah. You know what? He did. And I question that as well. I feel Chalobah has more defensive intelligence, I feel. And yet I was wrong. Hands up, I was wrong. Tosin was the right choice. And Tosin was probably the reason that we didn't concede. One of the reasons, because he was brilliant.
Yeah. Chris Wood is shit, though.
He's one of the... I don't know where he finished in the top scorers.
Yeah, but
like
when
he
was
was
the
up
last
there.
time he actually scored a goal? Like, he had that run of form, which is where he scored a lot of goals in a short space of time. Then he was absolutely shit. He's a poor player.
He scored against... Oh, dear. So he scored against Leicester, so we won't count that. He scored against Spurs. We won't count that. And then after that, he hasn't scored since Fulham, 15th of February.
Yeah,
that was the first proper team.
So he scored 3 goals from February to May.
Yeah, well, he did score a hat-trick on the 1st of February against Brighton in a 7-0 win. I'd forgot about that game. Bloody hell.
Fucking hell, Jesus Christ, that seems so long ago.
Yeah, I'd forgot. That's 7-0. What? Yeah, man. Who was your second winner?
Enzo Maresca.
He's on mine. I want to know why he's on yours. He's on Ollie's as well.
He got top 4.
He did.
Don't
Champions
know
League.
how. I honestly think us finishing in the top 4 sums up the Premier League this year.
Oh,
And
no.
the fact that I think that final day sums up the Premier League this year. That you've got Newcastle, Villa, Chelsea, Forest, all fighting for top 4, and not one of them looked like a top 4 team.
I think what disappointed me the most was the fact that we didn't have a crazy score yesterday. I always expect a stupid scoreline, and
Yeah.
someone might go, "Well, Brighton won 4-1." No, that's not a that's not a
No, that's
stupid
Tottenham.
scoreline.
Doesn't count.
If it was like 4-4 or 4-3, I'm
Yeah.
suddenly like, "Oh, hello." No, there was nothing exciting. That's just, it just happens. It just happens. Well,
But the aim was get Champions League, and we got Champions League. We won games when it mattered. And I understand. I've seen a lot of people praising the whole seeing a game out, winning it 1-0, and that's fantastic. And that used to be the Chelsea mold,
mm,
winning games ugly in a way. We did that for nearly a decade. But I thought Maresca was meant to be this progressive coach who dominates games and gets us playing attractive football. We don't do that. If this is what he wants to do, he wants to be pragmatic and win games 1-0, 2-0, and that's his style, I'll get on board with that. What I'm not on board with is him telling us one thing and then doing something completely different, because it seems like he's gone more for getting the results at the end of the season, which I've been saying for a long time is what you should do. But now he's got to switch it back again in the summer to actually now we want to play like this again. And I'm not convinced that that's going to work.
okay.
I think you either stick I don't think you can stick to your style for 6 months of an 8-month season and then for the last 2 months go, no, fuck that, we'll just win games now. Why didn't he do that earlier in the season and we'd have been in the top 4 comfortably?
Well,
It still shows a naivety on his part, but like I said, he's done the job. Do I like him? No. Would I lose any sleep if he went tomorrow? No. Do I enjoy and look forward to watching us play? Definitely not.
oh no.
But he's done the job.
He has.
So fair
He
play to him.
has. Oh, Ollie had him as a winner because won ugly, did it right, got the result. Very important for the club overall. Credit where it's due. It's also set the standard for the future. Highly important. Yeah, we are. That's the standard. Champions League. That is the standard, as it should be. For me, that's why he was a winner, because he delivered what he was brought in to do. Champions League football is officially back at the bridge. That alone earns him a pat on the back and the finest cup of coffee, because you've earned it. You have earned it. You've got the goal. And what impressed me the most yesterday was he got the tactics absolutely spot on against Forest. Because normally we play a high line and dominate the ball. That's what we do. Not this time. We flipped the script. We handed them the ball and just said, "Go on, then. You break us down." And it did look uncomfortable at times. And none of us can say at the start we were like, "Oh, it looked uncomfortable," but it was calculated. And Forest away is no easy trip. They've conceded the fewest home goals in the league this season, and yet we found a way through. Solid execution on the smart tactics. It was job done. And again, he's a winner because I'm looking at it as a season overall. Let's not overlook the defensive numbers. Under Poch last season, 63 goals conceded. Under Maresca this season, 43 goals conceded. That's 20 goal swing. That's pretty good. And now it's over to the sporting directors, because you've got to give Maresca the players that he needs, he wants to play his system. He delivered what you wanted him to do. You now have to deliver for him. I want to know your final winner.
I've got the sporting directors.
Wow.
Not because they are genuinely winners, but because they can turn around now and go, what we're doing is working. And that concerns me more than anything. But they have got clout now to turn around and go, hey, our recruitment's working. We've progressed each year. We've got back into the Champions League. What concerns me most is getting into the Champions League now does one of two things. Either they realise, right, now is the time to really push on. Like you just said, give Maresca the players he needs.
Mm-hmm.
Experienced, proven, quality players who can come in and elevate this team. That's an ideal situation to happen.
Yeah.
On the flip side, though, these sporting directors can quite easily turn around now and go, well, actually, the model we've been using is working. So we can keep signing Liam Delap and some other nobody from the second division in France for 10 million quid, and we'll still keep getting top four, and that'll be a success. And that's my concern. Which way does it go? But from their point of view, what they're doing is working.
It has worked, and we're seeing like Santos, Esteval, they're obviously impressing where they obviously we do own Esteval. Obviously, it's not been a loan like Santos. However, those two we're excited to see. Of course, we don't know how it's going to play. We don't know how it's going to play, different leagues and all that. Well, my final winner is Robert Sanchez. It genuinely is, because he has been a lightning rod for criticism at times, and he's quietly had a strong campaign. He has. I know he's had his moments, but I'm looking at the stats are there. His save percentage is the highest in the Premier League. It's according to FB Ref. I know some other people have pointed out it was 73, 74%. FB Ref states 76.4. His goals conceded per 90 is 1.06, only bettered by Ederson, Alisson and Raya. And Ederson played a lot less games than Sanchez. The total goals conceded, 34. That's fewer than every other goalkeeper in the Premier League, except Ederson and Alisson, which, it's City. They dominate everything. Even when they were shit, they still dominated the ball. And Alisson, well, the champions of the Premier League. Yes, he has. As I've been doing my Star Wars comparisons, he's had Jar Jar Binks moments, chaotic and confusing and heart-stopping moments. But as the season has worn on, Sanchez has transformed more into Han Solo. He's been calm under pressure and dependable when we needed him. And we needed him recently. And he has come through. He's not perfect. And I'm not suddenly here saying he's our number one goalkeeper, extend his contract, do the man a favour. No. But he's been far better than he gets credit for. That's why he's a winner. And I have to give him his flowers.
That's fair.
So, losers. Oh, my two losers. But Chris, you know what? You've got three. I'll let you kick off. Who's your first loser?
Reactions.
I think Ollie has sort of said the same actually here.
Honestly, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I'll talk about us first, and then I'll talk about some other reactions that also annoyed me.
Oh, okay.
Our reactions at the final whistle, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I had to double check that I wasn't watching a replay of the 2021 Champions League final. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Like, you can celebrate, you can be happy, fine. Go over, clap the fans, give a little cheer, go home. The massive dressing room celebrations, the videos posted on social media, the selfies, it's embarrassing. And I know there'll be a lot of people who won't agree, but everyone used to banter Arsenal for this exact thing. Because after their sort of dominance, when they was winning the league, and then all of a sudden they went pretty shit under Wenger's sort of last few years. And he used to constantly bang on about getting top four. There was memes aplenty about Arsenal having an open top bus parade with a big number 4, celebrating finishing 4th, taking the dressing room selfies because they finished 4th. You can't do that and then say let your own club off the hook when they do it. But it was massively over the top. Like it's an okay achievement. It's the bog stand. It's the bare minimum is what it is. That's the reality. For a club like Chelsea, finishing in the top 4 is a bare minimum. There shouldn't even be a discussion as to whether we finish in the top 4. That should be it. Like when your midfield costs £200 million, you shouldn't be talking about finishing 4th as a huge achievement. And then you've got Maresca afterwards slagging the journalists off for doubting him. And honestly, the things he said after that, I thought, what an absolute joker this bloke is, by the way, because he said, oh, there's been people who said that the squad wasn't ready for finishing in the top 4. You said it.
He said we weren't in a title race.
He has been telling everyone all season that this squad isn't ready. And then he's slagging journalists off for saying the same thing. You was the one who's been playing down expectations all year. So what's he talking about? Colwell talking about, oh, well, I think we've proved everyone wrong. You finished fourth, not first, fourth. You are the fourth best team in the league. Fourth, not even second, fourth.
I understand. I know listeners are going to absolutely wail on you for that, but I understand
Jeez.
what you mean. I understand what you mean. I also look at it as there was a lot of pressure on them, and they've achieved what many did say they couldn't. We also know they also get financial benefits for being in the Champions
Yeah,
League. It's
and
in the contracts. I would celebrate that too. And
right.
it's nice to also see an atmosphere in the dressing room that's positive, because we have had years where it's been toxic as fuck.
And that's great. But honestly, someone said earlier about making sure the standard, I think it was Ollie, wasn't it, on one of his winners when he said about making sure the standards stay high for next season.
Mm.
If you celebrate like this, finishing fourth, that's your standard then.
Oh,
Liverpool celebrated like this, winning the league, and we're doing the same. But it's not the same. It's not the same achievement. If you offered me eighth and winning the FA Cup, I would take that over finishing in fourth, because fourth is not a trophy. Fourth
no, it's
doesn't
not.
breed winners. And it's everything that is wrong with the Premier League now. Everything that's wrong with the Premier League players, Premier League owners, Premier League managers. All they care about now is qualifying for the Champions League. It's seen as a massive trophy and achievement. It's not. It's not an achievement. Winning a trophy is an achievement. Winning a competition is an achievement. Finishing fourth is nothing. It's a goal. It's a target. That's all it is. Tap the fans. Did you see the end of the Manchester City game?
They looked very quiet. Kevin De Bruyne just walked off like
The final whistle.
lone cowboy.
They went over to the away end. They clapped the fans. They did a little thing for Kevin De Bruyne because he's leaving, and they walked off. I haven't seen a single dressing room selfie. I haven't seen Man City posting massive party celebrations in the dressing room.
Yeah, but they've had a bad season on their standards. That's why.
But they've still finished in the top four.
I do get what you mean. I think it's because City are used to winning titles. We haven't seen that. We haven't won a title since Conte. And our last major silverware was it the Club World Cup or the Super Cup? One of the two. I can't remember the dates. And I think that's the thing, isn't it? We've not had it for years.
But we also have finished in the top four in the last 3 years.
Yeah.
We've only had 2 seasons where we haven't been in there. 2, not 5.
I think because we haven't had a lot to celebrate in recent years. I understand why I understand why they're celebrating. I can't knock them for it, because I understand, because we've had some shit seasons.
Yeah, we have had some shit seasons, and it's fine to celebrate. It's not fine to over celebrate. I ain't got a problem with them going away over to the away fans, singing a little song or whatever they want to do, little cheers, hip hip hooray, or whatever you want to do over there. That's fine, but it ends there. It ends on the pitch. I don't want to see music blaring and them all dancing around the dressing room, taking a massive selfie with each other. They took a team photo in the dressing room. You finished fourth.
I think that's
the open top bus.
I think that's just how football is now. I don't think of course it's not the same as it was 10, 20 years ago.
And that is the problem. Players now care more about playing in the Champions League than winning trophies. And that's the major issue now in football. And to be honest with you, owners do as well. You offered an owner win the FA Cup or finish fourth, they'll finish fourth, because there's more money in that. You get nothing for winning the FA Cup. You get like a couple of million quid. You get absolute diddly. So owners don't give a shit about that either, which then means managers don't care either. And then the players don't care. They don't want to win stuff. They want to finish fourth and then fucking singing Free From Desire in the dressing room afterwards because you're the fourth best team in the league. There was another thing in this game that really annoyed me as well, though, and it wasn't anything to do with us. It was the commentator.
It wasn't Peter Jury, so I was a happy boy.
Right. The commentator in this game, these are the words he used about this game.
Okay.
He said, got to say, Chelsea defensively today have been immense. And I thought, what? I thought they have done the bare minimum defending of Forest have put mostly shit crosses into the box and we've headed it away. You know the Dewsbury Hall clearance right towards the end?
Yes.
Did you see it? They put a cross in. It bounced in the box. He volleyed it away under no pressure. They said, unbelievable defending. I thought, what do you mean? He stood in the box under no pressure and he's kicked the ball away. Like, what has happened to football? Like that the defending in that game was what defenders was doing as an absolute bare minimum to be a professional footballer 10 years ago. Like, if someone crossed the ball into the box, you headed it away. Like, why are we celebrating defenders now heading the ball away? But that's your job, isn't it? Your job is to head the ball away. You know, Dewsbury Hall clears the ball under no pressure, and everyone goes, oh, he's outstanding defending. I've seen people on TikTok talking about, and that clearance from Dewsbury Hall at the end was immense. He was under no pressure, and he kicked the ball away. He's a footballer. Jesus, fuck me. Honestly, this is. I think this is why I don't like modern football, because you literally only have to be average now, and people will go, "That's fucking world class. That is world class defending." What, they put a cross into the box and we headed it away? World class, world class. That is his job. If you are a centre back, you should be able to head the ball away. If you can't head the ball away, why are you here?
Well,
Everything about it yesterday would just seem so over the top that it was like, I can't believe that I'm watching Premier League level football and they are getting this much praise for doing bare minimum things.
right. Ollie had put the celebration police as a loser. I don't actually mind people saying that we shouldn't be celebrating like that for just getting top four, but I think we have to remember all of the players are on incentivized deals. I said that. Hey,
Why am I getting really? Why am I defending multi-millionaires celebrating because they're going to get more money?
Hang on. He hasn't. He put then you would be celebrating too if you got the pay rise they just did. Let them enjoy it. He's right. He is right. I know we're very different. Our group chat, listeners won't see it. Our group chat was very 3v1. You can work out the 3 versus the 1. On that,
footballers should not be celebrating getting a bonus.
I celebrate a bonus. If I ever get a bonus, I'll be like, yes.
Yeah, but of course we do, because combined, me and you won't earn in our life what most of them do in a week.
Well,
So,
yeah, well.
Fucking, what are we doing, honestly?
Right.
Celebrating football or celebrating money?
Right. My first loser was English wingers who spent the season on loan and used to be good. Now,
Wow.
I've got two particular...
That's very specific.
Yes, I've got two particular names. I've got Raheem Sterling and Jadon Sancho because they were once...
both shit.
Both of them were once £100 million plus valued players. People would probably say they were 100... Oh, they're, you know... Now they're in a tragic comedy of their own careers, and we forgot about how they started their career. We forgot about Sterling at Liverpool and City. We forgot about Sancho at Dortmund because people do. That's not how it's just how it works. No one remembers Rooney's incredible time at Man United. They remember the end of his career at Man United, which is it's a shame. Sterling's loan at Arsenal, 1 goal in 28 games, and that was against Bolton in the League Cup.
God,
that you've it's kind of like you've bought a Ferrari and you've realised you can't go over speed bumps. And I would say that his Big Six career is probably in the recycling bin. Now I don't see him going to another Big Six team unless we obviously the only reason he plays in a top 6 team next season is because we struggle to sell him. Jadon Sancho. Oh my word. Oh, I said it in the Discord. His performance against Forest was less reborn on loan, more retired mid-match. There was 0 shots, 0 accurate passes, zero accurate crosses, 0 successful dribbles, 0 touches in the opposition box, 0 tackles won, 0.01 expected assists. He was a mannequin all game in shin pads. The £5 million fine that we will likely pay to cancel that 25 million obligation to buy kind of feels like daylight robbery in our favour. I feel sorry for him because he arrived at United as a superstar. He wasn't quite Darth Vader, maybe more Obi-Wan. He's not even a background stormtrooper now. That club doesn't develop players. I've said it before. Man United erases them from the timeline. And I just don't see what's the next move for him. He celebrated yesterday and it's like, I don't think he's staying this summer. I don't think we paid the 25 million.
We can't. He is awful.
He wasn't
I mean,
great. He just wasn't.
I'll be honest with you though. I would be up for selling all our wingers this summer to bring in two real quality ones. If we
I
had to raise money, I would be up for selling every single winger we have to raise money to sign two proper quality ones because, to be honest with you, none of them are good enough.
I
Jadon
like
Sancho's
Madueke.
probably
I like Madueke.
Madueke is okay. He would be okay to have in a squad as a backup. He can't be starting games for you. He just runs. That's all he does. He just runs into blind alleys, turns round, and either loses the ball or plays it backwards. His output's awful. His end product is atrocious. His decision making's terrible. I just, if you was to say to me now, sell Neto, Sancho, Madueke, Mudryk, obviously,
I don't think you can
to
sell
sign
him.
to sign two really good wingers, I'd do it in a heartbeat, and I wouldn't lose any sleep over it. And I don't think we would be. I don't think we would miss any of them at any point.
I do like Neto. I love Madueke. I would be gutted if he goes to Newcastle. I'm not saying that. People seem to think I know something. That's just what I've read. I don't know he's moving. I want to state that.
No.
I don't know if he stays or goes. I have no bloody clue. I've just seen a lot of linking him to Newcastle. So I've just gone, oh, I hope he doesn't go. That's all I've been saying. Ollie's one. I'll do Ollie's second loser. Forest. You've got to feel for them. Had a phenomenal season. The Conference League or Europa League, whichever one they're in now. I believe they're in the Conference League, I think. Will be better off for them being in it. Talk of Nuno leaving is crazy, in my opinion. The grass isn't always greener. I put a biscuit bet on that. I think Nuno goes because I've
also got Forest on my losers list.
Oh, go ahead.
Dreadful. Honestly, I thought they was absolutely fucking woeful. For a game you have to win at home, they did absolutely nothing. I put in our group, didn't I, that it's the most comfortable I've ever felt at 1-0. I think they could have been out there for 2 weeks and not scored a goal. They never looked like scoring a goal. After Chris Wood put it over the bar with his shin, they didn't look like scoring a goal after that. I was so not disappointed because I wanted them to play shit, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
In terms of when you think it's going to be a proper game, they didn't turn up. And I think if you look at their form from when they was in the top four, and I think they was third at one point, like 4 or 5 points clear of fifth, and everyone went, "Oh, that should be them wrapped up now." They've literally fell off a cliff. And watching them play yesterday, they'll be back down in the relegation fight next year.
You know what? Actually, I was just gone back through their fixtures. I would argue that their form dropped off a cliff after they left the FA Cup. No, they won they got through the FA. Sorry, I've been talking bollocks. I've looked at the wrong stat. So they beat City on the 8th of March, 1-0. Huge result. They then obviously beat Ipswich, beat Brighton on penalties in the FA Cup, beat Man United. And that's when this is when it goes to shit. They beat Man United, lose to Villa, lose to Everton, beat Spurs, lose to City, lose to Brentford, draw Palace, draw Leicester, beat West Ham, lose to us.
I mean, how are you drawing at home to Leicester?
Yeah. By the way, they lost to City in the
absolutely.
FA Cup, but you get the point.
Yeah. But the thing is as well, like there was another one where they was almost riding the crest of a wave. They started the season well and they sort of just rode that form for a while. And then you had like Chris Wood in insane form, which is well above his actual ability level.
Yeah.
Next year, you give their squad with probably minimal investment because they can't afford to get done by PSR again. So minimal investment into their squad. You put their squad in Europe and competing in the Premier League, they'll be finishing 16th, 17th next season. Absolutely no doubt.
I mean, Leicester went on an 8-game losing streak one point in the season. And I saw them one-on-one. I saw them against Wolves. And I would argue there's only one team. Obviously, it's a small sample size. I felt Leicester were a better team than Tottenham Hotspur. Because obviously
That's not hard.
No, it's not. And honestly, they're Champions League. They are. They won the Europa League. That's what happens when you win it. You qualify for the top competition. I would have still said, if someone had said, do you think after watching Wolves play Leicester and Spurs, who gets relegated? I would have said to you Spurs, because Spurs were shit. They weren't just, no, there's something. No, they were shockingly bad. At least Leicester had something. They weren't good. I'm not saying they were good. No, but I felt Spurs were a better team. So yeah, you're right. I mean, just Forest dropped off and they lost it. They bottled that top five, and be interested to see what happens now. But it's still overall, if you looked at the start of the season and said, you're going to qualify for Europe, they'd have laughed. They'd have gone, what? But it's interesting, isn't it, in hindsight, how you look at something with no context and you go, that's success. But where they were to where they finished, it's tough, isn't it? It's a tough one. It's a tough one to take. Right, so Ollie's third and final loser is the media. He's got the media. They wanted us to miss out so badly. The sour grapes after the game yesterday from journalists all over the place tells you that they're worried about us. Chelsea are always at their best when we're hated. With any luck, we'll be back there next season. And he makes a good point. I saw some absolute... What did I read? I don't know what the paper was. I'll pull up the tweet because it was awfully hilarious, I read. Where's the tweet? Let's have a look. It was... Oh, bloody hell. Where have I missed it? Because it was a Twitter account put it out, and it was about the millions that we'd spent. However, it was just something about it that got to me. I'm literally here we are. Who was it that put it out? Is that the Mirror? Daily Mail, and they'd got romance dies. Who was it? Oliver Holt. He'll probably block us now. I've brought this up, but the headline read: "Romance dies and money talks as Forest are turned over by backslapping Blues and their boorish boss." Now, I just want to point out that one bit of the headline. Romance dies and money talks. Now, we've spent a lot of money. I agree. Hands up, we have. But I want to make a point. This is Nottingham Forest. We're saying that romance has died and that money has spoken. They have a 5-year net spend of negative £217 million. They were handed a PSR point deduction for literally that thing. You can't use that headline and say, oh, well, money talks there. Forest literally broke all the rules to stay up. They went, well, screw it. We're going to spend all the money and hope that we stay up and it'll be all right. And they took the hit for it. I think it's quite ironic that you've wrote that sort of bullshit headline. That's my take on that. We're not innocent of it. I'm not saying that Chelsea haven't spent money. We have, but Forest literally did it and got sanctioned for it. 4 points of sanction. So, just saying. How many losers have you got left, Chris?
Just one.
Right, I'll go with my quick one. Emmy Martinez. Emmy Martinez, because
yeah,
he's a loser for claiming that he didn't deny a goal scoring opportunity after absolutely obliterating Rasmus Højlund. That's just comedy gold that you're going, you knew what you were doing. You cleaned him out like it was Money in the Bank, WWE style. You knew what you were doing and you're smiling. You looked at him the whole time. And if rumours are true, and that was his final Premier League appearance, what a chaotic way to bow out. You went full on kamikaze mode in a must-win game for Champions League football. You let your whole team down. And I don't think you care. You're off. Your actions mean your team went down to 10 men. You're chasing top-tier European nights that you've experienced this season. And despite what we think of Man United, you've given them the advantage. You've got one less player on the team. And unbelievable. And poor Rasmus, man. I mean, the man's just trying to make a run. He ends up airborne. I was like, how dare you? How dare you, Emmy? I don't want him at Chelsea now. Not after you did that. On a lighter note, though, shout out to the entire Scandinavian footballing world. Christian Eriksen slots home a penalty. Odegaard just did Odegaard things after he's had a run of form that's not been great, but he scores. Christian Norgard with an assist. Matt O'Reilly scored for Brighton. And then in Portugal, Gyökeres, Harder, both score, win the Taça de Portugal for Sporting Club de Portugal. Banner day for my Nordic crew. And I was happy after that. I was happy. Who's your final loser?
Cole Palmer.
Team of the season, Cole Palmer.
Don't get me started on some of this stuff. Honestly, football is dead, isn't it? Like I don't know what we're doing anymore. I think it's just. I honestly think it's just run now by people who don't know what they're doing. Yeah. And I've got Palmer because, I mean, I thought all of our attack was absolutely fucking woeful in this game, by the way. Neto, nothing. Madueke, nothing. My issue with Palmer is, again, this was the biggest game of our season, and he didn't turn up. There was no intensity. There was no creativity. He put one cross into the box, which Neto turned over the bar. I actually don't remember him doing anything else in the game. Don't remember him having a shot. Certainly not a shot that the keeper had to save. And then there was all this stuff online afterwards about him looking unhappy at the final whistle. I don't know what that was about. Yeah, just another really nothing game from Cole Palmer. I really think he needs this season to end. And if I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't play him in the Club World Cup. I would give him the summer off, to try and get him back to peak physical and mental fitness, because we are going to need the real Cole Palmer back for next season, because the one that we've seen in 2025, it looks like he's been body snatched or something, because it's not the same player we've seen before, who just has no effect on a game whatsoever.
He's had a decent season. I mean, he's not in the team of the season for various squads because he had 15 goals, 8 assists. That's a lot of goals.
He had a decent first half of the season.
Yeah, it's not been the best back half.
This is what I hate about team of the season. Team of the season is, if you're good for half of it, you'll get in. There was that year with Marcus Rashford where he did nothing up until February, and then February to May he went on that mad scoring run, and everyone went, "I'll put him in team of the season. He's been good for 3 months. What are we doing?" It's a 9-month season. He was shit for more of the season than he was good for, and you've put him in team of the season. And that's why I don't take any stock in that sort of bollocks at all. But there's no doubt in 2025 Cole Palmer's been shocking.
It's not been the best end to the season for him. I think that would be a very fair point. Okay. Final emoji game review of the Premier League season. What have you got lined up for me?
I've got 84 of the party popper emoji. Because I'm going to the parade on the open top bus. I'm going to that whenever that's scheduled for. We'll have the Europa Conference League trophy, most likely, and a big, giant, inflatable number 4 for the incredible achievement of being the 4th best team in the Premier League this season.
Honestly, the Spotify comments are going to be wild. I can't wait.
Just to those listeners who are probably typing something right now, I don't give a fuck. I will never massively celebrate finishing 4th. As I said to Berth yesterday in our group chat, club like Chelsea, it's first or nowhere.
Right, my emoji, and you'll see, listeners, for copyright reasons, it's the musical note, because we're going to be hearing next season. That's what we're hearing. You hear it? 4-bit. Shout out to Koi for that. Oh, you can feel it. You're getting excited, and it's copyright. Well, it's not copyright free. It's not the actual official.
Well, unless we do a Villa and play the Europa League tune instead.
Still the best thing ever. That is. Oh, what a tune! Yeah. Oh my word. Right. So for the final Premier League season of the week, Premier League. I know what I meant. Line of the week. Who did we have? I know the wheel went with Jorgens. Did it go with Jorgensen, or did I say Jorgensen as a joke? I can't remember. What did the wheel say?
I don't remember.
Kunku. Oh, bloody hell. I went with Palmer. You went with Caicedo. You win. You had Caicedo. I'll allow it.
Yes, he was better than Palmer.
He was. There's one more left for Lion of the Week for this season, because we've got obviously the big. I'm not going to do the Club World Cup as a part of this season. That'd be naughty. Yeah,
you sure? Double season, though, you said?
No. Yeah, but not for Lion of the Week.
Season's not over yet.
No,
Season's
it's
got
not.
another, what, nearly a year to go?
Yeah. Caicedo gets you win with Caicedo. I've picked Colwill as the actual lion because it was him easily.
Yeah, it could, yeah, because he was the only one who did anything of significance in probably one of the worst
Do you know
games of
what's
football I've ever
mad?
seen.
That was his first lion of the week actual win. I think because obviously we always
Wow.
I was going to say we favour attackers, but as it stands,
We favour Caicedo.
well, Caicedo wins it by a mile. We knew that with 8. And then the nearest was Cole Palmer on 5, and then Sanchez and Enzo on 4. Wow.
Robert Sanchez,
Yeah.
third. What are we
Yeah.
doing? I'm starting to wonder whether we know what we're talking about.
When it's not shared, as it stands, I'm on 9, you're on 12, the wheel's on 11.
Wow.
I think that's because that's when it's not been shared. So
Well done, Wheel.
you and I did share one, so you'd be on 12 then. I think you're just ahead because you'd have 13 because you shared it with Ollie as well one week. But yeah, it's been you're miles ahead. You've won it again. You win Lone Army Carousel. You've won that. As much as I can play,
What did I just say?
you
First
do know
or
stuff.
nothing.
Yeah, you do. Yeah. Well, we got a match preview. We have a match preview because we're taking on Real Betis. I don't know. One of the two. I'm not sure how you say it. Someone's pointed out
Some
Betis.
Spanish club.
It's a it's bloody hell. We're taking on Anthony FC in the Conference League final. They finished 15th in the Conference League group stage. What the fuck? But that qualifies you for the next round. So they then beat Ghent. They beat Vittoria de Guimaraes. They beat Jagiellonia Bialystok and Fiorentina in the previous rounds.
What is this competition? Fucking hell.
Player spotlight. I can't believe I am saying this, but it is Anthony. And of course, Ishko. I love Ishko. Interestingly, though, their form's kind of bad heading into the major final. They're winless in 5. That's actually very interesting to look at. They're winless in 5.
That don't bode well for us, does it?
Form goes out the window. Right. The last time Chelsea lost to Real Betis was actually the last time we played them in the Champions League group stage back on the 1st of November 2005. And yeah, it's quite a while. I put down the 1st of November. I'm pretty sure we played them in that day because I saw that the Chelsea official account had put out the highlights from that game. And I thought, oh, don't do that. Don't do that, please. That wasn't a good game.
If we lost, what would you do that for?
Yeah, we lost 1-0. I was like, oh, fucking hell. Anyway, it wouldn't be match preview. I'm telling you what was the number 1 back then in the UK. Well, it was You Raised Me Up by Westlife. So, who are we expecting to raise Chelsea up and claim that crown? I'm not picking Palmer. I've not been fully.
Oh, I wouldn't either.
Jackson's possible. It's got to be an attacking player. But then we haven't had.
Does it though? Does it really? I'm going with Cucurella because I think if we're going to win, he's going to have to have a good game against, unbelievably, an Anthony who has suddenly found out what being a footballer is.
Yeah, he's been. I mock him, but he's been amazing. Oh no! This isn't good. Jorgensen. That doesn't always. That's not what I want it to be. I want him to do well, but he's. Oh dear! I don't know where the wheel's going with this.
Penalties it is. Win on penalties. Jorgensen saves three.
It could be. Oh bloody hell! You're going Cucurella. The wheel's gone. Jorgensen. I still. It has to be an attacker. Is George going to start? Yeah, that's a good shout.
Enzo's sort of a hybrid, isn't he, between a defensive player and an attacker?
I can't go Jackson. I can't. I'm gonna. You know what? You've convinced me. I'm going Enzo for the final time this season. I can't pick Jackson. I'm just not convinced. Not after that Newcastle performance.
Not convinced he starts, to be honest.
You make a point. You do make a point. Right, Quaresma's questions as I pull my phone. Love doing this. Let's have a look. What have we got? We have got from Merger Clause. Are Tosin and Levi as best centre-back pairing?
I don't know, because I think Chalobah's done well. I think we've seen all combinations have good games. and then we've seen all combinations have poor ones. It's difficult to say. If I was to pick two at the moment, that would be the two.
Yeah, unless I feel we're going to sign somebody this summer in the centre back role. I just don't know. I really don't know who it's going to be. I have no idea. I would say it's
Well,
our
no,
best pairing.
you won't know who it is because they're 17 at the moment and playing in Peru.
Oh dear. Oh man. Oh, next question. Well, I don't like this one. I ate the other Greg. Should we sign Emi Martinez? He's a three. Is he on a 3-game ban? Oh no, it's not violent conduct, was it? It'd be one.
It would just be one. And
No.
do you know what? No, I wouldn't. I think he's had a really poor season at Villa. I think he's let in some terrible goals. I think he's rash. I think he's hot-headed. Uh, I don't trust it. Wonderful goalkeeper, but I wouldn't trust him, and I think that's a big issue for a goalkeeper. I think yesterday proves that. Um, no, no, I wouldn't. I'd rather sign somebody else.
You say about yesterday. It, I can't get out. He looks directly at Hoyland and he goes for him. He
Yeah.
knows what he's doing, and I don't get where the oh well oh it's one of them when you tangle up and that happens. He looks directly at Hoyland and goes, "I am stopping you," and you know if you stop him, it's a red card.
Also, I just
blew my mind because he doesn't even try to make a tackle. He just pushes him out the way.
don't even know why. I don't even know why he's coming out engaging Hoyland. Let him go through. He ain't gonna score.
Oh, on that note of Emi Martinez, Huff on the Discord, who is the number one goalkeeper for the first 3 matches next season when Martinez has to serve his ban? Uh, I don't think it's signing him. I just don't see it. I don't see it. Paul
I think we have to give Petrovic a season for me. See if we can save ourselves money on a goalkeeper by seeing if Petrovic is good enough.
Paulie Hate, will this change our transfer approach to the summers needing Champions League level players? I think it does. I'm still not convinced on Delap. I'd rather get Gyökeres or Osman. Have a top caliber striker.
I agree, but this is the problem, isn't it? And this is what I was saying earlier. I don't know if it does or not because all of the talk from the club before we qualify for the Champions League was it's not important for us to qualify for the Champions League. So if you're telling me it's not important, then surely your transfer business is already being done around whether we're in it or not. I don't think the strategy changes, and this is the issue that I have. I think we've heard more stories and that about, maybe they've realised we need more experience, but maybe they haven't. And maybe it's just bullshit by journalists that they're well known for. Until we make the first signing we make this summer will tell you everything you need to know. If our first signing this summer is another young, relatively unknown player, then nothing's changed, and it really didn't matter whether we qualified for Champions League or not.
I guess that also depends on the opportunity. Because if it's a young player, I know I'm not on the books. If it's a young player, they feel, oh, we got to get him. Then I want to see who the major signing is. That's because who would we say was the major signing of the last summer? Was it Pedro Neto?
Yeah, exactly.
That's
what I'm talking about. Yeah, if it's someone like that, then we might as well have just qualified for the Europa League because it's not going to make any difference.
I've just remembered as well, we've got João Felix on the books.
Yeah, we've got more people to get rid of than bring in.
Again, bloody hell.
Again.
We always seem to have that. Right, so we'll close it out with a quick 20 questions. I've got a player. Chris, you've got 20 questions to nail who the player is.
Okay. Retired?
No.
Oh, so still active.
Still active.
Okay. Are they over 30 years old?
Yes.
Are they currently playing in the Premier League?
No. 30 years old. Yes. Are they over 30 years old? No. 30 years old. Yes. Are they currently playing in the Premier League? No. 30 years old. Yes. 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 30 years old
Are they playing in any major European league?
No.
Are they playing in Brazil?
No.
Okay. Have they played for a major European club?
Yes.
Okay. Are they playing in Saudi?
Yes. I was waiting for that one.
Did they play for Bayern Munich?
Oh, no. Oh, that would have narrowed it to one player. Well played.
Okay. Have they played in the Premier League?
Yes, they have.
Okay, so that rules out people like Karim Benzema. Have they played for Chelsea?
Yes, they have.
Is it N'Golo Kante?
Oh, well played. 10 questions you got that in. 10 questions. Oh, can't believe to be fair, he's played more games for Saudi. He's played more games for Al Ittihad than he did at Leicester. But he was only there for a season, wasn't he? So
He's stayed fit though, hasn't he? Bizarrely.
Yeah, that is the thing. And I think as well, let's be honest, also the physicality of the league is different. And
yeah,
it's just he's a world-class player.
Got to think a player of his quality in that league, he's probably playing at 60-70%. So he's not pushing himself to 100% every week.
Man, World Cup bloody winner. What so many awards. Best midfielder in the Champions League season. Just honestly looking at all his awards, and he is one of the greatest of all time in 100%. The Premier League in his role. Oh, just amazing. Right, listeners, we're at the end of another episode. Thank you as always for tuning in. Before we go, proud to remind you of our partnership with Head in the Game, mental health charity using football to support wellbeing in the community. Check them out, headinthegame.co.uk. Treat yourself well, because we're back Friday with the winners and losers from Real Betis, and then we're fully off into the off season. So that's going to be fun. I did want to do a winners and losers of the season in general, but we literally don't have time because the Club World Cup starts. So I've got to watch it. People have said that we're going to get into it. Not me, not us as a show are going to get into it, but people in general like get that tournament vibe like the Euros last year. And I'm like,
no, we won't.
No, I will get into that watching the Women's Euros, not the Club World Cup.
Yeah,
I won't
a real competition.
Go, yeah. It's I'm very curious how this Club World Cup is even going to happen. When I say happen, we still don't know who we're playing. They haven't played that game yet, have they? Between LAFC and was it Club America as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And it's not that long ago.
That's what I mean. It's a farce of a competition. Who really cares? No one is going to care about who wins this competition at all.
I don't even know when. It doesn't actually tell me when the match will be. No, I can't.
Day before, probably.
Oh, May 31st, apparently. So we'll find out Saturday.
Same day as the Champions League final.
Yeah. Yeah, don't watch that. Watch this. Watch this. Yeah. This is bigger. Yeah, I'll be watching the Champions League final. Anyway, with that, treat yourself well, listener. We'll be back on Friday. So till next time, that'll be us signing off.
You've been listening to At The Bridge Pod, a Chelsea FC podcast. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram by searching for At The Bridge Pod. And if you're listening on Apple or Spotify, leaving us a review is always appreciated.